Welcome to another episode of the Knowledge Money series. This is going to be a very, very unique episode for several reasons. I'm going to be sharing something really precious to my heart, and I know it's going to bless you. It's basically my story, and I'm going to title this episode MSKI Revolution. The MSKI Revolution. Why MSKI? I'm going to get to that shortly. So this was 2020. I was back because there was lockdown in Nigeria. This was around February, March 2020. All universities, all campuses, schools had to let the students go home or wherever because of what was happening then in Nigeria. And so I was home, and I was just wondering how this whole COVID period or lockdown was going to go. And I felt God impress in my heart these words: Son, go and lock yourself and evolve and emerge out of this global pandemic a global entity. Those were the words. And what did I do when I heard those words? There was another building in my parents' compound where they stay, and it was for my dad's office. So I went there, I took some things with me, some books, laptop, and I locked myself there. And I was waking and sleeping in that room, in that office. And in fact, I only entered into the main house to have a bath, and eat and stuff like that. And then I was back to my, in quotes, retreat camp. And what was I doing in that office? I was watching endless YouTube videos and reading books on knowledge monetization, on marketing and sales. And so, what is MSKI? Marketing, sales, and the knowledge industry. Marketing, sales, and the knowledge industry. After about 3 weeks of doing this, reading books, watching YouTube videos, I created a podcast series in a very, very simple way. In fact, when I say podcast series, you probably think it's something big and phenomenal, but it was just some audios that I created and I put together on a Telegram channel. And then I created a lovely flyer for it. I told someone to create a lovely flyer for it, and I started selling it. Now, those audios I created were from the things I learned on YouTube within a 3-week period during this time that I had gone to lock myself. Within that first month of releasing this podcast series, I had made 100,000 naira in profits. 100,000 naira in profits. I was amazed. I'd never seen any money like that in my life at that time because, of course, as a medical student, I wasn't working. I wasn't working at that time. So that money meant a lot to me. And it showed me something, that if I can take this seriously, for the rest of my life, I can never be a slave to any system. Very amazing, isn't it? Well, so as the lockdown came to an end, I think in Nigeria, around September, October, we had to resume. I had pediatrics MB or pediatrics O&G and is it family medicine now? Yeah, I had that MB to write. But something significant happened. As I left that house, I told my parents to stop sending me feeding money. Yeah, I told them to stop sending me pocket money. How much was this podcast series that I used to sell at that time? 2,500 naira or 2,000 naira. That was it. But of course, I understood a bit about distribution. So some money was coming in. And I felt at that time that, this can help me pay certain bills, feeding and other things like that. And so that was how I told them that they should stop sending me. And they stopped because, at that time, both of my parents were retired. And so on certain days, especially when the lectures were so long, I had to go from one word round, one practical to the other. I didn't have enough focus and time to be able to make a sale. So just as we're about ending a class, sometimes maybe around 4 p.m. on a good day, that's when I will make my first sale and be able to have lunch or brunch that day. This was how it was going for several months. But something was being instilled in me. I understood that if this can be taken seriously, it can give a lot of personal sovereignty from the systems. So even while I was in medical school, as I'm reading my books, as I'm reading my Bible, listening to spiritual messages, I was also reading materials along the lines of marketing, sales, and knowledge industry. And then God impressed again in my heart. Build an empire around marketing, sales, and the knowledge industry. I have a lot to share, and I'm going to share the remaining in the part 2 of this. Enjoy the rest of the series.